Everyone makes mistakes, and engineers are no exception. The difference is that some errors can have catastrophic consequences, and throughout history, many engineering failures have indeed proven deadly or extremely costly, from poor planning and negligent shortcuts to miscalculations and flawed designs. Engineering errors have impacted everything from buildings and bridges to space shuttles and industrial facilities. Here is a look at some of the most infamous engineering mistakes ever recorded. Mistakes that changed lives, reshaped industries, and left lasting lessons for future generations. Hyatt Regency Hotel walkway collapse on July 17, 1981. A walkway at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri, collapsed during a crowded event. The flawed design of the walkway was to blame. The engineers responsible faced charges of gross negligence, incompetence, misconduct, and unprofessional behavior. While they were ultimately acquitted, their employer, Jack D. Gillum and Associates, lost engineering licenses in several states and its membership in the American Society of Civil Engineers. Hindenburg disaster. On May 6, 1937, the German airship Hindenburg caught fire and crashed in New Jersey, killing 36 people. The disaster was caused by an electrostatic discharge igniting a hydrogen leak. This combination proved fatal, turning one of the most iconic airships of the time into a historic tragedy. Titanic, the sinking of the so-called unsinkable Titanic on April 14, 1912, remains one of the most famous engineering failures in history. Design flaws, including weak iron plates on the bow and stern, caused the ship to break apart quickly after striking an iceberg. The disaster serves as a stark reminder of human overconfidence in technology. Space Shuttle Challenger. On January 28, 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after launch, killing 7 astronauts. The disaster was traced to a failure of the O-ring in the shuttle's rocket booster. According to the official investigation, the O-ring's failure was a result of a flawed design that was dangerously sensitive to temperature and other conditions. Chernobyl disaster. The Chernobyl nuclear accident, which occurred on April 25th to 26th, 1986, near Pripyat in Ukraine, remains the most devastating nuclear power plant disaster in history. Investigations indicate that a combination of a flawed reactor design and poorly trained personnel caused the explosion, which released massive amounts of radioactive material into the surrounding area. Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was built on unstable soil composed of mud, sand, and clay. Over the centuries, the tower began to lean, requiring numerous interventions to prevent collapse. Despite its flaws, it remains one of Italy's most famous landmarks. Deepwater Horizon oil spill. In 2010, the Deepwater Horizon drilling rig in the Gulf of Mexico suffered a catastrophic blowout. A defective cement job allowed oil to leak uncontrollably, resulting in the largest environmental disaster in U.S. history. Charles de Gaulle Airport Terminal collapse. In 2004, the roof of Terminal 2E at Charles de Gaulle Airport in France collapsed due to an engineering error. The roof was not strong enough to support the heavy metal pillars, leading to a tragic structural failure. The Vasa. The Swedish warship Vasa, launched in 1626, sank shortly after leaving Stockholm Harbor. Overly ambitious armament and poor design were the main causes, making it one of history's most famous naval engineering failures. Banqiao Dam. In 1975, a combination of poor design, substandard construction, and a typhoon caused the Banqiao Dam in China to break. The resulting flood killed around 230,000 people and forced the relocation of roughly 11 million. Tacoma Narrows Bridge. In November 1940, strong winds caused the Tacoma Narrows Bridge in Washington state to oscillate uncontrollably, ultimately collapsing. The failure was due to design errors that did not account for aerodynamic forces. Quebec Bridge. The Quebec Bridge in Canada collapsed twice, first in 1907, then again in 1916. Preliminary calculations were not properly checked, and the bridge was built far over its carrying capacity, resulting in catastrophic failure. Quinton's Hill Rail Disaster. On May 22, 1915, one of Britain's worst rail disasters occurred at Quinton's Hill. 2 signalmen were blamed, but there are suspicions they may have been covering up systemic mistakes in the railway's operations. St. Francis Dam civil engineer William Mulholland ignored warning signs such as cracks and leaks during inspections. In 1928, the dam burst, killing over 450 people. Space Shuttle Columbia. On February 1, 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated during re-entry after a piece of foam struck one of its wings during launch, highlighting vulnerabilities in spacecraft design. Bhopal disaster in 1984. A gas leak at the Union Carbide facility in Bhopal, India, claimed thousands of lives. Faulty equipment design and poor maintenance were significant contributing factors. Skylab. The USS first space station, Skylab, was designed to operate in orbit but not to safely return to Earth. In 1979, debris fell into the Indian Ocean and parts of Australia. Apollo 13, 2 days after launch, an oxygen tank exploded aboard Apollo 13. Fortunately, the astronauts survived due to quick thinking and emergency procedures. Cleveland, East Ohio gas explosion. On October 20, 1944, liquefied gas leaked into the sewer system and mixed with sewer gas and air, causing a catastrophic explosion that killed over 130 people. SS Sultana, one of the Sultana's boilers, exploded, causing the steamboat to sink. Out of approximately 2,400 people on board, around 1,700 died, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters in U.S. history. Apollo 1. During a pre-flight test in 1967, Apollo 1 caught fire, killing 3 astronauts. Design flaws in the capsule contributed to this tragedy. Atlantic Telegraph Cable, the first transatlantic telegraph cable, failed due to poor design and mishandling, which compromised insulation and resulted in repeated communication failures.